The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. It is 5 a.m. on this finally Friday. I'm Alex Fisher along with Ileana Capian. Maddie is enjoying some time off, enjoying kind of a long weekend. But if you're staying in town this weekend, beautiful weather. We're going to see a little bit of a cool down.
It's been nice all week, but yeah, we're finally starting to get into those cooler temperatures that you enjoy.
Yeah, we're kind of on this roller coaster that Kev's been talking about, and we're headed down that roller coaster. Kev?
Yeah, especially as we head into Sunday, but tomorrow we're looking at some very nice weather around Kern County. Also today, back into those 80s. Show you satellite and radar right now around the area, and you can see we've got clear skies. No changes on that front. If you look off to the west, we are going to see some clouds along the coast if you're headed that direction today. As we take a look at Bakersfield right now, 53 degrees, a northwest wind at 7 miles per hour, and hour by hour, plenty of sunshine throughout the day. And again, we'll be back into those 80s. Into the mountains, Tehachapi right now sitting at 46. We have that westerly wind at 12. And as we take a look at the winds right now, they are still a little bit strong out near the Mojave area. No wind advisories in place. And hour by hour, those 40s by 7 a.m. And then we'll look at some upper 60s this afternoon, that breeze picking back up. We'll take a closer look at that weekend weather coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. We begin this morning with breaking news out of San Diego. At least one person was killed and 4 others hurt in a shooting in San Diego. San Diego police responded to reports of multiple people shot in gas lamp at around 10:30 last night. Police say the shooting stretched across at least 4 different scenes across the downtown area. SDPD confirmed one person was shot and killed and said at least 4 others were suffering from gunshot wounds. Police say the suspect is in custody. The motive of the shooting is still unclear at this time. Today, CDC advisors meet to decide whether to resume the use of the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson shot. They paused the 1-dose shot last week after a handful of reports of blood clots. Tracy Potts has more on what to expect from today's meeting.
Alex, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Let's put this in context. Fewer than 1 in a million people saw rare side effects, and less than 5% of those vaccinated got this Johnson & Johnson shot. But today, advisors with the CDC will pore over the data to make a decision. As the U.S. surpasses 32 million COVID cases, a panel of CDC experts meets today to review the data on Johnson & Johnson's one-shot vaccine.
We need to make a decision quickly, and I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to use the vaccine soon. 6 reports of rare blood clots led states to stop administering the vaccine. Today, experts will look at more recent data to determine if the benefits outweigh the risks.
You're talking about 1 in a million of a rare condition versus saving potentially tens of millions of lives. Well, that's a pretty good one to look at positively.
The company notes that more than 7 million people got the shot, almost all with no serious side effects.
I would hope that at the end of this week that the population in general will feel more confident about taking a vaccine.
Continue to outweigh these risks.
Europe has resumed use. Advisors could decide to add a warning. The CDC is also considering whether people who've been vaccinated still need to wear a mask outside. 24 states are repealing outdoor masking requirements. Scientists say there's low risk of giving the virus to someone outside, but the real issue is, are people nearby? Are there crowds? I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic here in Kern County. Kern Public Health reported 2 new deaths yesterday, along with 70 new cases. 1,335 lives have been lost due to COVID-19 in Kern County since the beginning of the pandemic. State data shows 30 people are in the hospital in Kern County, 7 are in the ICU.
And California State University and University of California will require students, staff, and faculty to get vaccinated against COVID-19 before returning to campus for the fall semester. That announcement coming yesterday from the CSU Chancellor's office. The requirement is subject to full approval of 1 or more vaccines by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and adequate availability of approved vaccines. Right now, Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are under emergency approval. Now, Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are being offered to everyone age 16 and older. You can sign up by going to myturn.california.gov or by calling the number on your screen, 833-422-4255.
Clínica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clínica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
And now from our 17 follow-up file. The Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help finding a woman who's been missing for more than 2 weeks. This is a photo of 44-year-old Angie Virginia Plata. She was last seen at Walmart on Rosedale Highway and is considered at risk to mental health concerns. She's described as being 5 feet 3 inches tall, weighing about 250 pounds, with a tattoo on her left wrist that says Vanessa. Anyone with information on Angie Virginia Plata's whereabouts is asked to call KCSO at 861-3110. And the Bakersfield Police Department needs help finding a missing 64-year-old woman. Josefina Garcia was last seen Wednesday afternoon on Stockdale Highway and California Avenue near the Dollar Tree. She was seen in a black shirt, brown pants, black tennis shoes, and a beige purse. If you've seen Josefina Garcia, call BPD at 327-7111.
The Bakersfield branch of the NAACP hosted a virtual community meeting last night featuring stories from those who say they've endured brutality from our local law enforcement. Among those who spoke, Tatiana Hargrove. You may remember in 2017, Hargrove claimed she was a victim of police brutality when she was arrested after a struggle with Bakersfield police who mistook her for a man. She sued in federal court, but a jury ruled in favor of the city and officers.
He takes his knee and places it into the middle of my back. And I tell him, sir, stop, stop, stop. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. So he takes his other knee and places it into my head. So it's like right here in my temple. And I'm trying to get up. I'm trying to move. I can't do anything.
Last night's virtual meeting also featured several community activists pushing for police reform. They say a lot of attention is paid to national police brutality cases, but we need to focus on local incidents as well. And this comes as the city of Bakersfield is looking to get more police officers on the streets and providing an added incentive for new recruits. The city council unanimously approved updated recruitment and retention incentives for the police department during Wednesday night's meeting, increasing the incentive for police trainee positions from $3,000 to $4,500 for completing the police academy and serving 1 year on the force. Additionally, the council voted unanimously to provide an incentive for dispatcher 1 and 2 positions, up to $1,500, an internal employee referral program of $500, and flexibility of the timing of when incentives are dispersed.
Children are the future, and 2 local teens have decided to use their platforms to bring awareness to a mental health support group for teens in the community. Both Natalie Tun and Ritik Kumar are passionate about erasing the stigma of mental illness and wanted to create a safe space for teens to talk about their emotions and life. When the pandemic hit, they realized Kern County was in need of a support group for teenagers, a support group that extended just past a few high schools, a support group that could connect all teens across the county.
Just Like Me is all about that connection between teens. Its focus is to bring the youth in Kern County together and ultimately just have that connection between the youth of Kern County and just let them know that we're there for them and they're not alone when it comes to, feeling alone or having anxiety or anything related to mental health.
The group meets virtually every Sunday afternoon from 2 to 3 p.m. For more information and to sign up for our next meeting, visit NAMIKernCounty.org and click on the banner for Just Like Me Teen Support Group. You can also find them on Instagram at NAMI Kern County.
5:21 now, and making headlines around the nation. A bill to admit Washington, D.C. as a state has passed in the U.S. House of Representatives. Titled H.R. 51, the bill passed strictly along party lines with a vote of 216 to 208. As Republicans fiercely oppose the idea. Supporters say residents of the District of Columbia have the obligations of citizenship, such as paying federal taxes and military service in wartime, but without federal representation. The opposition sees the idea as a power grab with the heavily Democratic-leaning city likely to give progressives more power in Congress. So far, the bill does not have the needed support in order to advance in the Senate.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
And in your 17 Business Watch, the American economy continues to show improvement as businesses start to open back up. The Labor Department says 547,000 people applied for first-time jobless benefits last week. That number fell below the analysts' expectations and is a new low for the COVID-19 era. With more Americans getting vaccinated, states and businesses are starting to open up. But there is a long way to go. There are still about 8 million fewer people working than before the pandemic. And there are more than 17 million people still receiving some kind of aid through various pandemic programs.
If you're wondering why Fortnite isn't in the App Store this morning, or maybe why your tile tracker stopped working, it's all part of a battle in the tech world between big tech and app makers. Liz McLaughlin explains.
The next time the couch eats your keys, AirTag will help find them.
This week, Apple launched AirTag, a tracking device for lost items. An idea first pioneered by startup Tile 6 years ago.
This is what happens when you have a monopolist acting as a de facto regulator. The regulations will always favor the monopolist.
Tile was one of many companies testifying in a Senate hearing this week, examining whether big tech stifles competition in its app stores.
Let me be clear. Apple and Google are the only gatekeepers of this new internet.
Another day of pressure from lawmakers against big tech companies that have been in the hot seat over antitrust issues.
When Apple and Google set the rules of how to play in their playground, in a snap, they can make their own product that competes, and they can also change the rules.
Apple and Google arguing that their app commission, up to 30% on digital purchases, is fair.
The App Store's real success is the opportunity as created for software developers to build and distribute all those apps in the first place.
Our business only succeeds when our developer partners succeed.
Consumer advocates at the hearing said big tech is abusing its market power to push their own products and ecosystem.
And lock consumers in while they lock competitors out.
Some apps saying they fear retaliation from Apple and Google for speaking out.
We're all afraid, as the reality senator. We're fortunate you are listening to us today.
And I hope the Justice Department is too.
Developers now asking regulators to intervene. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
5:35 now, and an update now on a story we brought to you yesterday. A 3-year-old boy remains in serious but stable condition this morning after accidentally shooting himself with his father's gun. The call came in just after 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Police say a 3-year-old boy at his apartment in southwest Bakersfield shot himself at his father's apartment. Brittany Fox is a plumber who was working at the apartment complex on Marsha Street near Village Lane. And as she was packing up her tools in the courtyard area, the boy's father came rushing down the stairs with the wounded toddler in his arms. Fox says the father handed her the toddler so he could call 911. She applied pressure until paramedics arrived.
I was holding pressure, just trying to get him to calm down. He was talking to me, he was telling me his name, his birthday, kept repeatedly telling me that he shot himself in the leg with his dad's gun. And he also kept saying, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. No, baby, no, you're not, no, you're not.
17 News attempted to speak with the father yesterday, but a family member says he is in Madera with the toddler. Meantime, we will keep you posted as soon as we learn more about the toddler's condition.
And in your 17 Crime Watch this morning, a man and woman have been arrested for the murder of a man at a Bakersfield motel. 31-year-old Corey Fisher was shot to death in the parking lot of the Rosedale Inn Sunday night. According to Bakersfield police, Fisher was seen arguing with a man before the suspect drew a gun and fired, and then drove off. He was with a woman in a dark sedan. Yesterday, 28-year-old Gary Jennings and 33-year-old Lisa Scherer were taken into custody in Tulare. Jennings was booked into the Kern County Jail for homicide and other charges, and Scherer was booked for being an accessory to homicide. Fisher's family says the father of 4 was in town from Michigan visiting friends when he was killed. And this weekend, at the end of Victims' Rights Week, a local ministry wants to bring together victims of gun violence in a rally. Of the 36 homicides in Kern County this year, 32 victims were killed in shootings. That's why Bakersfield pastor wants to bring together victims in a display of solidarity. Ray Ballard with Operation Soul Winner plans to host a rally against gun violence on Cottonwood Road and McNew Court. Ballard says his family has been affected by gun violence in Bakersfield, and after the death of 16-year-old Mariah Neufeld, the violence hit close to home again. Neufeld was found dead at an orchard on Tower Line and Buena Vista Road with a gunshot to her head. Neufeld was friends with Ballard's daughter, Caitlin. She says the teen helped her for years ago when she was in a dark place, and Caitlin says she wouldn't be alive without Mariah.
If you're having a bad day, all you had to do was look at her smile or her laugh, and it'll make your day 10 times much better.
The rally is happening Sunday at 5 p.m. And a reminder, the Neufeld family is offering a reward for any information that can help solve this case. You can give a tip to the Kern County Sheriff's Office at 861-3110 or stay anonymous and call Kern Secret Witness at 322-4040.
New developments this morning on a man charged with murder in the case of missing college student Kristen Smart. According to a report from the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, Paul Flores was investigated in the alleged rape of a woman in Southern California a decade after Smart's disappearance. Flores became the subject of the investigation in 2012 when his DNA profile matched a profile collected from the victim. But the alleged incident was never prosecuted. When Redondo Beach police detectives began to investigate the DNA match, they learned San Luis Obispo investigators were already chasing the same information. Flores says he doesn't remember the incident. Paul Flores is charged with first-degree murder, accused of killing Kristen Smart back in 1996. His father, Ruben Flores, is charged with being an accessory to the crime, accused of helping hide Kristen's body. Both have pleaded not guilty. Taking a look at news around the state this morning, and according to a policy watchdog group, a statewide ban on oil fracking is coming from Governor Gavin Newsom possibly today. The website Politico Pro, which covers policymaking at the state and federal level, says the governor is poised to place a new ban on any new hydraulic fracturing permits in California. As of news time this morning, 17 News has not been able to independently confirm that a fracking ban is imminent. A bill moving through the legislature to ban hydraulic fracturing by the year 2024 stalled in the state legislature last week. But the governor hinted he would revisit the issue in the near future.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.